From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Thanks for being with us this Friday morning. It is Halloween, October 31st.
Nice to have you with us. Let's get a brand new day started.
As soon as these benefits are withheld, we anticipate that our lines will get longer.
The government shutdown dragging on, so 5 million California families face losing access to federal food assistance starting tomorrow.
The thought of kids not having food or families not having food in life right now breaks my heart.
Local food banks asking for help, and so is a Bay Area mom. Meet the woman building bridges from food to table.
We need more space, and I'm happy. I think, having lived here a long time, I'm happy to share the space.
San Francisco's housing crisis gets some help. We're going to take you to the Presidio to show you the place and the plan to build 200 homes on federal land.
Tony Vitello is the next manager of the San Francisco Giants.
Vitello vying for victory. The Giants sending in a new manager. What's ahead for his very first job in the major leagues?
If there's one day to do it, it's Halloween. And if there's one place to go, it's the Castro.
And go to the Castro. How locals want to bring the party back to one of the city's most iconic and colorful neighborhoods. That, plus we're live with Bay Area seniors showing you costumes don't always have to belong to the kids.
All right, it is Halloween. It already was a spooky start to the morning with these cool, cloudy skies along our coastal communities. And now as we head out the door this morning and heading into this afternoon, it's going to be a beautiful day for us to get out there and get some fresh air. We're talking about 60s still along the coast, 70s in our inland areas, but let's get straight into that trick-or-treating forecast. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to pull up the 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. hour. Let's actually zoom all the way into the East Bay. We're going to start off over there this morning. 60s quickly turning into 50s by 8 p.m. By 9, we're holding on tight to 50s widespread from the North Bay down into San Francisco and along our coastal communities, too. It's going to look a lot different as we head into the evening hours tonight. I'll have more on that coming up in just a bit, Ann.
All right, a developing story right now in San Jose. Firefighters are on the scene of an apartment fire. This was burning in a carport between two homes, breaking out at about 11 p.m. At least 3 vehicles were destroyed in this fire, and at least 3 apartment units were also partially burned. The Red Cross is there at the scene working to help at least 4 adults who live there.
Looking live at Capitol Hill this morning, for another week, senators failed to pass a bill to keep your U.S. government up and running and funded, so they're going home. Now President Trump wants Republican majorities in the Senate to break something called the Senate filibuster rule. So that's the rule that essentially requires 60 votes to pass legislation and essentially bypasses the minority party in the Senate. So this morning, the impact for more than 40 million Americans, we're aware that hits tomorrow. Federal food assistance coming to an end. So here in California, that means more than 5 million of our neighbors will be impacted. And you know, there are many millions of dollars available to keep the food on the table here in California and all over the country. But Republicans say they can't tap into those funds. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But for now, there's really this headline. Lawyers for the state of California are joining other states to sue the administration to try to unlock that funding. So what's happening today? In Boston, in a federal courtroom, a judge could rule to force the use of those emergency funds. So let's drill down into the lawsuit. It argues the USDA has $5 billion in contingency funds specifically for those SNAP food programs. They also have another $23 billion available to feed families. But Trump administration lawyers are expected in Boston to look at the judge and say, look, these funds are reserved for emergencies like natural disasters. The judge has indicated she is leaning towards releasing those funds to get food on tables, but there will still be a delay for you in receiving those benefits. So all eyes on that Boston courtroom. But in the interim, communities all over the Bay Area, we see this. They're stepping up time and again. Santa Clara County heroes to talk about this morning. More than 130,000 people there. They rely on food assistance, and lines at food banks are expected to be long. So county leaders there are moving $4.5 million to Second Harvest of Silicon Valley Food Bank as that need surges.
Our food insecurity rates are higher than the national average, and that's because we live in such a high cost of living community. Second Harvest of Silicon Valley is already serving 1 in 6 of our neighbors. And of course, as soon as these benefits are withheld, we anticipate that our lines will get longer.
Well, Leslie tells us that Second Harvest has 3 drop-off sites for food donations if you want to help this morning, but they say the best way you can do is by giving money. They have all the systems. They just need the cash to power the systems. We have a link to Second Harvest through our website, kpix.com/give. And then listen up, parents of kids getting ready for preschool today. The free preschool program Head Start, it's also bracing for a pause in funding. So here's the impact. We dug into the numbers. In California, there are more than 80,000 Head Start funded seats, and nearly 50,000 of those are for preschoolers. The risk, if funding is cut off, is that some Head Start centers will just close. The National Head Start Association says some of the affected centers are in the South Bay and the North Bay.
These aren't just numbers on a budget line. These are parents that have to leave their jobs. These are children who could lose access to the quality early learning experiences that shape their entire future.
Earlier this year, the Trump administration asked Congress to eliminate altogether funding for Head Start. And
yeah, moving around the Bay for some of the headlines in your community. We have some new video after dozens of guns were stolen from a firearms shop in Livermore. It was a bold weekend break-in. The 3rd time the store has been robbed over the last 2 years. It happened at around 4 a.m. last Saturday. Car ramming through the front of the shop, and then robbers in masks run inside to steal more than 30 guns. The owner says he is worried right now about where those weapons might end up. Both Livermore police and the feds are investigating. No arrests have been made yet. In San Jose, the city has made a deal with Caltrans to try to speed up encampment sweeps on state land, including highways, railroads, and public paths. A few of those encampments are near highways 85 and 87. Before, the city needed to get permission for sweeps on state land. The mayor says right now it would take about 8 weeks in some cases to get something done. Right now, there are 13 sites that the city plans to clear out, and the state will reimburse the city for the cleanup. In San Francisco, the RV crackdown is set to begin starting tomorrow, November 1st. RVs parked on San Francisco streets for more than 2 hours can be ticketed or even towed. The city is offering a large vehicle refuge permit for temporary parking relief for people living in RVs who are in a housing service with the city. So requirements for a permit include accepting housing or shelter that the city offers, giving up the RV if you're in the buyback program, and following the good neighbor policy. In the meantime, that means no excessive noise, open fires, and keeping the sidewalk next to your RV clean. People without a permit must find a paid RV parking garage outside of the city. Staying in San Francisco, city leaders hopeful that a new pedestrian beacon will help prevent traffic deaths in the area. It's meant to alert cars that people are walking in a crosswalk. It was installed at the Fulton and Clayton Street intersection, just blocks away from Golden Gate Park. City leaders say about 600 students at the University of San Francisco use this intersection, as well as kids from a nearby elementary school. Authorities say there have been 2 crashes involving pedestrians recently at this particular intersection.
Well, as Mayor Daniel Lurie works on deadline to meet a state mandate to come up with a plan to build new housing in San Francisco, again, we look this morning at what could be built.
And now housing might be coming to an area that has not seen any new construction in 20 years. Brad Hamilton has more on the almost 200 new homes planned for the Presidio.
Tessa McMillan has lived in the Presidio for 20 years, but this walk and her life in this space never gets old.
I feel like I've been really fortunate to be able to bring my family here, be around nature, and be able to use a park that should be open to the public.
But if there's one thing missing in the Presidio, in her mind, it's the opportunity for others.
We need more space. And I'm happy, I think, having lived here a long time, I'm happy to share the space.
When you think about the historic character of the Presidio...
And now, the Presidio Trust confirms that a brand new development is in the works. San Francisco Supervisor Stephen Sherrill represents neighborhoods in the area around the Presidio.
Opening up the Presidio for as many families and people to live here and work here is something that I'm really excited about.
The Presidio Trust sent us renderings of what it would look like, turning this empty parking space into so much more. 196 units and 6 apartment buildings with studio, 1-bedroom, and 2-bedroom spaces.
You look at the new designs, I think it's incredibly thoughtful how they went into it. And that's
the supervisor showed us the space where it would go on Eddy Road and why he felt it belonged here.
The best part of this project is they're taking unoccupied, vacant buildings that are not part of the historic character of the Presidio. Actually, they're really kind of ugly, and they're building some beautiful new buildings for people to be able to live here and really enjoy one of the most majestic parts of the city.
Another benefit is the revenue it would generate. In a statement to KPIX, the deputy chief of the Presidio Trust highlighted the need for new housing as a way to keep fueling the federally owned national parks economy. The Presidio has a unique structure where it's entirely self-sufficient with its operations and its finances. Housing makes up about 35% of the revenue it needs to operate.
We're going to see this building redeveloped. Most special places in the federal government's portfolio, period, and it is one of the only revenue positive parts of the federal government. And I think it's a great project. It really uplifts the history and the unique character of the Presidio.
Maintaining history and natural beauty with new housing is a concept not seen often in the Presidio. But residents like Tessa McMillan feel that will be embraced by the community because of their willingness and want to share it.
Yeah, and I hope it stays like that. So the Presidio really has to understand the importance of, how the residents feel about that. That community is number one for us.
Well, the project officially kicks off the public environmental review process November 3rd, and the hope is to break ground sometime in the next 2 years. Ann?
All right, it is 11 minutes after 6 o'clock, and a shakeup in the British royal family. King Charles stripping Prince Andrew of his royal title over Andrew's alleged connections to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. We're breaking down the royal drama up next.
Get ready for an extra hour of sleep this weekend. Clocks falling back. It is fall after all. Daylight saving coming to an end. We have tips on what you can do to really cash in on the extra hour of sleep.
Oh, I'm already excited for it. And we do have beautiful weather on tap for us here in the Bay Area. Heading into this Halloween forecast, I'll have more on that coming up in just a bit.
First Alert Weather, brought to you by AAA Insurance. Get a quote today.
Welcome back, everybody. We are watching live video from our many monitors, which bring us every morning the headlines from all across the globe. So there is new and explosive fallout in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. The King of England stripping his brother, Prince Andrew, of his titles and kicking him out of a house that he leased from the Crown in Windsor. This follows allegations the prince had sex with Virginia Giuffre when she was a minor. Now, in a statement from the king, Andrew will be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. No title there. He'll also be moved to other accommodations. Giuffre died by suicide in April at this year at the age of 41. Epstein and the former prince were friends. The government shutdown dragging on, hitting U.S. troops pretty hard. So the Trump administration is moving money around to try to ensure that our troops get paid. That happens today. The White House says a total of $5.3 billion will be reallocated. Half of the money will come out of a military housing fund. The rest will come from a Navy shipbuilding account and a research and development account. The Trump administration making moves also to allow more white South Africans to become admitted refugees to the United States. But at the same time, they're capping the number of refugee admissions to the country to just 7,500. So let's compare that to last year. In the Biden administration, the number allowed in was 125,000. The feds posted Thursday that the cap and the reservation of spaces for those white South Africans was justified by humanitarian concerns and is in the national interest. Refugee advocates and congressional Democrats criticized this decision. But this morning, the death toll is up in the Caribbean after Hurricane Melissa hit as a Category 5 storm. At least 45 people across Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic are known to have lost their lives. Nearly 500,000 people in Jamaica alone this morning are waking up. They're trying to flip on the lights, maybe the heat or the air conditioning. It's not working. Electricity's out. The National Hurricane Center in the United States, watching this closely now, says Melissa is heading towards Bermuda, where already this morning a hurricane warning is in effect.
Well, this weekend, we are setting the clocks back an hour. It is the end of daylight saving time. It's happening at 2 in the morning Sunday, so switch back those clocks before you go to bed Saturday night. Meantime, there are new calls to stop the time change. According to a Gallup poll, most Americans are not in favor of daylight saving time, 54% of them. And some health experts want this time change to stop as well. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine is among the groups urging lawmakers to eliminate seasonal time changes and enact permanent standard time.
On permanent standard time, we have more light in the morning, and we know that morning light is best for our mood and for our health. The second reason is that darkness in the morning actually has some safety risks. The third reason is because the alignment of the rising and setting of the sun is more consistent with our internal clock, people sleep better, get that morning light.
2 states, Arizona and Hawaii, are on permanent standard time.
Well, how about we climb to the top of Black Mountain right now and look out over the horizon, because it is Friday after all. And of course, it is a spooky Friday, and that's a perfect picture. I'm thinking about the thousands of Bay Area kids who will be out trick-or-treating tonight. Jess, we want them to have good weather, but we also want just to remind people, be aware, the best of us are out and about having fun tonight and just to drive safe, right?
Absolutely. So let's take a look at that Halloween forecast. I want to start off with what's going on into the evening hours tonight. We're just going to get straight into that trick-or-treating forecast starting at 5 o'clock into this evening. We're holding on tight to 60s in places like the South Bay and off into the East Bay. Quickly around 7 to 8 o'clock, that's when we start to see a return in the 50s. This is just a friendly reminder that by 9 o'clock, we're holding on tight to 50s all throughout the Bay Area. And yeah, those jackets are definitely going to be necessary. Now let's take a look at our daytime highs today, because that's a completely different picture. Daytime highs today are nice and warm. We're holding on tight to 70s actually, all the way off into the East Bay, close to the 80s in Concord, all the way over in Antioch. A little bit more mild for our friends down in the South Bay today. Zoom all the way up into the North Bay. Wine country is looking beautiful as we head into this afternoon. That temperature contour map is showing a little bit of orange, meaning we're just a smidge above average, but not by much by any means. We're also holding on tight to 60s along the coast, right where we should be for this time of year. It's a beautiful day to get out there and get some fresh air and, of course, go trick-or-treating too. Now, let's take a quick look at the next 7 days. We're wrapping up this week, heading into this weekend nice and dry. It's not until next Tuesday and Wednesday where we see a return of showers pushing in from the north. So that's going to bring in cooler weather. It'll bring in higher relative humidity and, of course, some rain right around the corner as this area of low pressure rolls in. So this is what the next 7 days looks like in that case. 70s, that's what we're holding on tight to for our friends in the Bay as we dive into this weekend's forecast. By Monday, we're still holding on tight to cloudy skies each day as we head into next week. Showers rolling in on Tuesday, heavier rain on Wednesday. It starts to taper off just in time for our Thursday forecast. That's the Bay, though. Let's head all the way over into our inland spots. Places like the East Bay are going to hold on tight to daytime highs just a smidge above average for a little bit longer as we head into this weekend. 80s by Sunday, sunny skies too. A great way to kick off the month of November and also get more sleep too with daylight saving time. But then once we head into next week, this is when we start to see those temperatures change quick. 80s to 60s from Sunday all the way into Wednesday. Rainy skies right around the corner. Keep that umbrella nearby. You're going to want it next week. Over to you.
All right, let's get a check on your Friday Halloween morning commute. Little spooky in some spots, starting with the South Bay. There is an accident right now near the Berryessa area. This is on 680 northbound right before the Landris Avenue exit, so some delays there. In the city, there is a serious crash they're dealing with right now on 101 southbound. That is between the Bayshore Boulevard exit and Alana Way. Earlier this morning, BART was experiencing some major delays, but it looks like everything is back on track right now and all other transit lines are running on time. Might want to check that app, though, as you are out and about for the latest updates on delays. And if you're heading toward the Bay Bridge, big surprise here, traffic is flowing very nicely into the city. And at the Golden Gate, no major delays to report, so your ride into the city should not be spooky. Reed.
Time right now, 6:21. Good morning, everybody. Bang, bang, Niner gang. The 49ers are getting ready to be in action this weekend. We are tracking a couple of new additions hitting the field this Sunday. We have that and more with Vern in our Red and Gold Report.
All right, at 6:22, taking another live look outside before we head to break. Love this shot of the city from our camera on Treasure Island. We'll be right back.
Well, the 49ers still are not quite sure who their starting quarterback will be on Sunday, but they did make a couple of new additions on defense. Vern Glenn has the latest in this morning's Red and Gold Report.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
The 49ers picked up defensive end Keion White this week in a trade with the Patriots, and White has hit the ground running. Literally. He went straight from the airport to the practice field on Wednesday.
I compare like football to corporate America. Like you just got a new job and I'm going to another office for real, learning the system for real.
I think he's going to be really good in the system. He's a strong guy and I'm just looking forward to watching him grow. I'm sure right now he's just trying to learn everybody's names and learn where to walk and stuff.
San Francisco also signed a defensive end who already knows everybody's name.
It don't matter where I'm at. I used to be over there, but now I'm over here. But these are still the same guys who, you know, that made this place special.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Cleveland Ferrell spent the 2023 season with the 49ers and started all 17 games.
It felt like home. So for me, it was kind of just coming back home. And it's a lot of new people in the house, but, you know, the cook is still the same, so this feels good.
The defensive line will look to introduce themselves to Giants' Jackson Dart. He's been sacked 9 times in the last 2 weeks.
You can watch the 49ers take on the Giants right here on your community station KPIX. It all starts Sunday at 10 a.m. Cue the big recliner and the good food. And
all right, and big baseball news in the Bay Area as well. The Giants officially introducing their new manager, Tony Vitello, to fans yesterday.
High confidence that together we can build something really special here in San Francisco. And so now it's my pleasure to introduce Tony Vitello as the next manager of the San Francisco Giants.
From Tennessee Orange to the orange and black, making the leap from college to the pros, but admitted becoming a big league manager wasn't always on his radar.
It is a dream come true, but it's a very recent dream. It wasn't one I had for a while. And as much as I'd love to sit up here and promise things and pound my fist on the desk and all that, and really all I want to do is a good job.
And this is not Vitello's first coaching job in California. He actually started his career in Salinas as the head coach for the Packers of the California Collegiate League in 2002.
time right now, $627 million set to lose critical food funding due to the government shutdown. So enter a Bay Area mom who sees a need and steps up to help her community. We're going to head to Solano County to meet a bridge builder still ahead. Now let's go live to Veronica, showing us that costumes and candy is not just an affair for kids, Veronica.
It is not. Good morning. Happy Halloween. We're at Brookdale San Ramon, a senior living community, where they're going to have a mix of people gathering today. And the treat here, plain old happiness. Stay with us.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Looking live this beautiful Friday morning, and the twinkling lights are out here on this Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. Look, a lot of kids will be in costumes headed into school today. Make sure you drive safe, take care of them. And tonight, same thing. And if you see a pirate teenager out there by the name of Ryan, just shine extra light on her. I want my baby girl to be safe. Jess, I know a lot of parents feel the way I do.
I completely agree. I'm excited to see her costume. Here's what's happening for us as we head outside on this Halloween forecast. Let's take a quick look at what's going on for us this morning heading into this afternoon, because we have that beach hazard statement along the coastline right now issued by the National Weather Service. It's all that blue color you see from Half Moon Bay up into Ocean Beach and past the Golden Gate Bridge up into Bodega Bay too. Strong rip currents and sneaker waves today, so be careful out there along the coast. Now for our inland spots, we're holding on tight to 70s as we head into this afternoon. Daytime highs a little bit above average, but let's just dive straight into that trick-or-treating forecast. Let's head all the way up to the North Bay to start off. This is what it's going to look like just around 5 o'clock tonight, heading into the evening hours tonight. If it will continue to play, we're holding on tight to 60s and 70s in the forecast for us into the afternoon hours. We drop down to the 50s into the evening hours tonight. More on that coming up in a bit. Ann?
All right, funding for a federal program that provides food assistance for more than 41 million Americans is set to run out tomorrow. We've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks as the government shutdown enters a second month, and the possible loss of those benefits now prompting neighbors across the Bay Area to step up and help each other. That includes two moms who have come together in these uncertain times. Tori Apodaca takes us to Vacaville. It's in Solano County, where one woman is trying to feed her family while another is hoping to feed others.
I have mac and cheese to feed my daughter, and that's her favorite.
Single mother Leanne Rositano, praying that as the federal government shuts down, her community is stepping up.
That was my empty fridge on Monday.
She posted this photo on the Facebook group Vaca Moms, and her neighbors showed up big, filling her shelves and stocking her fridge, making sure she and her daughter Lily won't go hungry when their federal food aid stops this Saturday.
Cheese? I can sleep peacefully now. I was worried. I was scared.
I've got milk.
And she has her milk.
Whatever I can do, if I can organize for families to get fed, then I want to do it.
Amanda Stewart saw Rositano's post.
Okay, I'll be in contact when I have a sponsor ready for you.
And took the food crisis into her own hands, her inbox quickly getting flooded with people needing help and wanting to help.
We don't want to see our own community go hungry.
Stewart's mom, Carrie Long,
Be careful, that has eggs on it.
is one of the many shopping for groceries and delivering them to families like Rositano's.
The thought of kids not having food or families not having food in life right now breaks my heart.
From one mom to another.
When you're a mom, you have to do what you gotta do.
Making sure no one in this community goes hungry.
All right, the cost of health care has been a major driver of the government shutdown, with Democrats saying they want to bring back subsidies for plans on the Affordable Care Act. As the stalemate continues, open enrollment is starting for covered California plans tomorrow, and if nothing changes, some families' premiums could more than double.
Ouch. Well, moving around the Bay Area for headlines where you live, in San Jose, a statue swiped from a park, and now police want you to see photos to try to catch the culprits. Look at the damage there on your screen. The statue swipers caught on camera carrying that statue right through Veterans Memorial Park after they cut it right off the base. They just left the feet there attached. That statue was important to the community. It was a gift from San Jose's sister city of Okayama, Japan. In San Francisco's Hunters Point neighborhood, listen to this. The city's health department says the U.S. Navy waited 11 months before reporting potentially dangerous levels of radioactive plutonium in the air above that neighborhood. That area is a former shipyard. You can see some of those inlets there. The responsibility to clean those radioactive element ups belongs to the Navy. The San Francisco's chief health officer issued a letter in response yesterday calling for an independent investigation into what happened and why the findings were not just revealed sooner. In a separate letter the city sent to Hunters Point residents, Dr. Susan Phillip promised the city would hold federal and state partners accountable and that they will be meeting with Navy officials tomorrow to discuss the matter. We will be asking a lot of questions on that one. So after 5 decades of pasta, espresso, and rainbow chandeliers, you know what we're talking about. Mona Lisa restaurant in North Beach, they're closing their doors over on Columbus Avenue. Now, while a lot of you will get that news and feel sad about this, just know that recipes and memorabilia that you love will move over to Mona Me across the street. So Mona Lisa's owners say it's time to pass the torch to their sons who run Mona Me. Let's talk about a heartwarming Halloween. You know, we head to the East Bay this morning where some seniors are getting into the spirit of the holiday with a very special event.
Yeah, Brookdale San Ramon welcoming families for a Halloween party with some fun for all ages. So let's check in with Veronica Macias, who is getting a jump start on the special event that is all tricks, no treats. I mean, all treats, no tricks.
And better than
I don't know which is it.
A jump scare, right?
Definitely treat this event. It's going to bring a mix, both the young and the old, really like a full circle moment. And look at this. They've gone all out here at Brookdale, the senior community. I'm going to bring in Lola here, executive director. Tell me about this event, Intergenerational, the importance it brings to the residents here, keeping them active and really just bringing them not a treat, but a whole lot of happiness.
Yes, so I really focus on the holistic part of being a senior. And so this intergenerational activity, which we call our Friends for Life, we have one a month. And each month we bring in an intergenerational component. It keeps the residents lively and vibrant, and then bring it back to their childhood or when they had that fun component to them. It gets them out of their apartments. It gets them connecting with their friends and family. And what a wonderful way to do that on Halloween, where they can pass out the candy to not only our associate families' kids, but as well as the kids within our surroundings.
And this event, you know, we think of Halloween and we think of spooky, but really this event really full of life, wouldn't you say? What is that interaction when you see a resident here interacting with, you know, a young child coming in and costume and all the fun with it?
It's so rewarding to see their faces like light up, and brings them back when they were actually nurturing and bringing up their children as well. So they get to see the happiness not only in the child and them dressed up and the oohs and the ahs of how cute it is, but it's really nice to bring those smiles to their faces and make them feel as young as they really are, even though they're aging.
They're young at heart today.
Absolutely, yes. And you will see, we are so excited tonight to have that event here at the community and all through the day, because the level of smiles and excitement that's going to be coming from them and giving them that warm feeling that we love them just as much as their family loves them.
Oh, we're excited to see that. Thank you, Lola. Yeah, so Reed, you were talking about being concerned with safety on Halloween night. Us, you know, parents always concerned when it's dark out there, so many kiddos. This is a family event where you can bring your little ones and also bring such a big treat to the seniors here in San Ramon.
All right, sounds like a party. Thanks, Veronica. So much fun planned for the night ahead. And also this weekend is the Dia de los Muertos. That is a multi-day holiday where people pay respects to loved ones who have passed away. This Saturday, the nonprofit Cana and the Yerba Buena Gardens putting on a family-friendly event with food and artisan vendors, mural paintings, and live performances.
When we think of death in terms of the kind of Western perspective, it's somber. But in Mexico and in a lot of places in Latin America, it's a time to laugh. It's a time to party.
Organizers say it is the first time a Dia de los Muertos celebration is going to be held at Yerba Buena Gardens. Saturday's celebration is from 4 to 9 and admission is free.
6:39 in the morning. Bridge builders stepping up to help a local high school whose football field had been ruined. And guess what? It shows you that the Raiders may have abandoned us, but they have not forgotten us. We've got that story. Mount Diablo High School up next.
And an Oakland artist taking shattered glass from burglarized cars and turning it into works of art. We're going to meet that artist in our Project Earth.
And it is a little bit above average as we head into this Halloween forecast, but once that sun sets and the trick-or-treaters are out, it looks a lot different. We have that forecast on tap for you coming up in just a bit.
We are watching live video from our many monitors, bringing us headlines from across the globe this morning. And here's a question being raised. Could the Palisades fire have been prevented? That is what a new report is suggesting this morning. It claims a Los Angeles Fire Department supervisor ignored warnings that ultimately led to the fire. In that report, there are text messages between firefighters who responded to the scene of a small fire and say they were told to leave the next day. That small fire eventually turned into the Palisades Inferno. In one text exchange, a firefighter wrote that crews told the chief it was a bad idea to leave, quote, and the rest is history. Federal investigators have since concluded it was a holdover fire, a continuation of the first fire that continued to burn underground. LAFD leadership has not commented on these text messages. LA Mayor Karen Bass calls this report concerning. She told the LA Times the city is leading a series of reforms, including possible changes to leadership. Deadly flooding in New York City. Authorities say 2 people died after record-breaking rain yesterday caused damage throughout the area. In Brooklyn, firefighters responded to a call of somebody trapped in a flooded basement. Fire department divers recovered a 39-year-old man who was rushed to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. A friend of the man told CBS News he was trying to rescue his dog in the basement. At around the same time in Washington Heights, a 43-year-old man was found unconscious inside a flooded boiler room in the basement. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Silicon Valley's NVIDIA announcing a new partnership with the South Korean government. The chipmaker plans to supply hundreds of thousands of its graphic components to boost the country's AI infrastructure and manufacturing. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang said that he is hoping in the future to export some of their chips to China, but he says that is up to President Trump to decide.
Time now for a look at what's coming up later for you on CBS Mornings. Here's Nate Burleson.
Hey, Reed, good morning. Good to see you. Here's what we got coming up on CBS Mornings. Once the fun from Halloween is over, it is time to start thinking about the holidays. Kelly O'Grady is here with tips on making the most of sales starting right now. We also have a Halloween-themed Kindness 101. Steve Hartman and his kids share the story of a man who used his decorations to give us all a lesson in being neighborly. And it's been 50 years since Queen changed the music world with this rock anthem, Bohemian Rhapsody. So we go back to the Farmhouse studio where it was recorded. We'll also have everything you need to know and more on the show, so we'll see you at 7.
On this morning's Project Earth, an artist in Oakland making jewelry, vases, and candle holders out of shattered car windows and other reclaimed glass. We caught up with the artist who came up with a smashing idea to keep glass out of landfills. It's not what you want to see, broken car windows. But for Oakland's Sydney Jones, she is ready to pick up the pieces.
Oftentimes it will just end up in the landfill. So I wanted to start diverting, these little beautiful gems into something beautiful and wearable.
Following a tip, Sydney puts on gloves, grabs a broom, and heads out to a street corner where she collects broken glass from a bipped car. Back at her studio, she cleans and sorts the tiny bits, turns on the kiln, and waits as the high temperature turns the blunt safety glass into molten spheres, which she then turns into elegant earrings. Sydney calls them her Street Revival collection, and they are a smash hit.
I was actually overwhelmed with the community response to the reuse of glass. I never would have thought it would be reclaimed glass that people would get excited about.
Sydney is the owner of the Odd Commodities shop. Every single piece is made with reused or rescued glass.
I was really shocked to hear about how much glass actually ends up in the landfill. And as you know, glass does not decompose fast at all.
Best sellers include vases, containers, and candles. Chris Minnick is a repeat customer.
It makes it feel great to support a business like that, because not only are you supporting the business, but you support the environment as well.
Sydney now offers a candle making workshop at the local Alta Vina wine bar. The location provides the used bottles. Sydney provides the eco-friendly supplies. Her friend Paula Choi loves it.
She uses natural ingredients, and the scents that she gets are really clean.
Hope it inspires folks to think about how they consume and what they can reuse.
Lighting the way to a more sustainable future and a sweep victory for Mother Earth.
Taking a live look outside on this Halloween morning. Good morning to you. Hey, I have an idea. Parents, grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, as your kids get ready for school, maybe take a picture, put it on social media, use the hashtag KPIX. We would love to see their costumes this morning. Here's Jess with your weather.
Oh, absolutely. And then we can show them during the 7 o'clock. I would love that. Here's what's happening for us on this cool, spooky morning for us on this Halloween forecast. Starting off with some logistics. We need to check off what the National Weather Service is saying. And right now along the coast, they've issued a beach hazard statement for our friends near Half Moon Bay, all the way over into Pacifica, stretched up into Bodega Bay. Rip currents and sneaker waves, they're definitely possible with those choppy waters, so be very careful out there along the coast. Now let's talk about this trick-or-treating forecast, because I really want to dive into this. We have 70s on tap for us from the South Bay, stretched all the way up into the North Bay. I'm going to turn this off, though, and I want to show you our Halloween trick-or-treating forecast right around the corner, starting off just in the evening hours tonight. Let's zoom all the way over into the North Bay, Simon. We have 50s on tap for us once we head into the evening hours tonight, closer to around 9 o'clock. A similar setup all the way off into the East Bay too, 60s and 50s on tap for us. So it is a cool evening for us right around the corner as those trick-or-treaters head out the door. Now, as the sun sets, of course, it gets cooler faster, so just keep the jackets nearby. Other than that, it is a dry day for us today, tomorrow, Sunday too, Monday as well. But once we head into Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, low pressure rolls in from the north. That's going to do a lot of things for us here in the Bay Area. Starting off with our temperatures, it drops us down from the 80s to the 60s for our friends in our inland spots from Sunday all the way into Wednesday. Of course, it also brings in rain too. On and off showers are on tap for us from Tuesday all the way into our Wednesday forecast. Higher relative humidity. It'll feel and look a lot different. That's how we're kicking off the first couple days of November. Of course, Saturday and Sunday are looking gorgeous. Partly cloudy skies on tap for us, for our friends over into the Bay. But once we dive into next next week too. All of us across the board are going to hold on tight to those showers right around the corner. So we're going to keep a close eye on the rainfall totals. It does look like it's starting to taper off though in our models as early as Thursday. So we'll have more on that coming up in just a bit. But like I said, it is a great day for us today. This Halloween forecast, I'm going to pull up the map one more time just to paint that picture. The map is looking great. We're talking about daytime highs sitting in the 70s. A great day to get out there, trick or treat, and of course, just enjoy some beautiful sunshine too in those inland areas. Ann?
All right, let's take a look at your morning commute. If you are heading out the door this Halloween, we have a serious crash to report in San Francisco right now. We're hearing there are some injuries involved. This is on 101 southbound near South Shore Boulevard. Right-hand lane is blocked, so major delays. Take it slow as you head through that area. In the South Bay, there is another accident. This is on 101 northbound, right before the Key Road exit. Traffic backing up there as well. Now, if you're planning on taking BART, there's about a 10-minute delay on the Berryessa line. That is because of an earlier equipment problem in the South Hayward area. So plan ahead for that. Moving over to the Bay Bridge, traffic is starting to build up this Friday. So be prepared for that slow and go into the city, but certainly not as bad as it normally is at this hour of the day. That's a look at your morning commute.
Well, this morning, once again, it's our honor to celebrate bridge builders who saw a need and stepped up. And there's a headline here. The Raiders apparently haven't forgotten about us. They're giving $250,000 to help fix Mount Diablo's high school's football field. They did it just in time for homecoming. You might remember back in August, the school turf field was deemed unplayable right before a big game because of a giant burn scar caused by fireworks out on the field. Look at that mess. Well, fast forward to today. The Raiders donation, we understand, will cover the cost of the insurance deductible, which the district would have had to pay for. That was a total repair cost of $350,000. Your community station wishes Mount Diablo a safe homecoming night and says, attaboy Raiders, even though you still made us mad for moving to Sin City. Just got to say that. Time right now, 6:52. San Francisco's Castro neighborhood getting ready for a fabulous Halloween party. We're going to take a look at preparations in one of our beautiful Bay Area neighborhoods up next. Time now for your Money Watch report, and good morning to you. Taking a live look at the big board this morning to track where your stocks are. We're in positive territory, but just by a little bit. We'll continue watching that throughout the day. A lot of tech stocks drive our conversation this early in the morning, so listen up. If you have Apple stock, Bay Area's tech giant Apple cashing in on their new iPhone lineup using AI technology. So AI looks to be giving them quite a bit of money. The Cupertino-based company's latest earnings report shows fourth quarter revenue climbed to a record $102.5 billion. CEO Tim Cook said the company expects the December quarter to be its best ever. Several airlines are stepping in to help feed essential federal employees that are working without paychecks during the government shutdown. People with United, American, Delta, they're all stepping up, offering free meals for air traffic controllers, TSA employees, and other federal workers. We checked. That includes food service right here in San Francisco. Okay, kids, you're getting your costumes on this morning. We're so excited to see those. Maybe have your parents put them on social media. Use the hashtag KPIX. We'd love to see them. We know Halloween is here, but it's especially fun on a Friday, right? Because it's party night anyway. It means the party will be extra big in San Francisco's Castro. 3 snaps, Castro neighborhood.
This legendary celebration began decades ago, and it draws people from all around the Bay Area. Our Lauren Toms talked to the woman whose family started it all.
Every October, Cliff's Variety on Castro Street morphs into a Halloween headquarters where skeletons, sequins, and spirits collide.
Halloween is everything in the Castro.
And at the heart of it all is Terry Aston Bennett. She's not only the co-owner of the beloved store, but she's the heir to a Halloween legacy.
The whole tradition of Halloween in the Castro was actually started by my great-grandfather back in the late 40s, early 50s, where he had created a costume contest and pie eating contest and had made a 20-foot paper mache dinosaur that would parade kids around the neighborhood.
What began as a humble neighborhood block party has become a beacon of pride and self-expression at the heart of San Francisco's LGBTQ district.
Halloween is the gay high holy day. We get to dress up and be whoever we want, or maybe somebody we never wanted to be.
And this year, the celebration is an even bigger boost to local merchants. The monthly Castro Night Market was moved back 2 weeks to collide with Halloween night.
You can dress up any day of the year, but if there's one day to do it, it's Halloween. And if there's one place to go, it's the Castro.
Luke Spray of the Civic Joy Fund, which backs the night market, says it's doubling in size, spilling down 18th Street with drag performances, music, and spooky contests.
If you look at any of our night markets, but especially here in the Castro, the businesses do a lot better on the nights when we have the market, and with good reason. It brings out the entire neighborhood. Coming out of the pandemic, everything is competing with the couch, right? And what a better way to compete with it than to bring out the best of San Francisco, arts, music, performances, local businesses, everything you love about San Francisco comes out on a night market night.
The official celebration also marks a new chapter. Halloween celebrations here were scaled back for more than a decade after a string of violent incidents in the early 2000s, including a mass shooting in 2006. And following a pause during the pandemic, the Halloween celebrations have bounced back in the last few years. This year, organizers say public safety is a top priority.
The city agencies, police, fire, all of that, everyone comes out and makes sure that our community is safe.
And for Terry, it's more than costumes and candy. It's a way to carry on her family's torch, keeping the Castro's magic alive.
For us, it's just really important to keep Halloween going, to make it a safe, fun place for everybody to be who they are. Because, I mean, really, what is the Castro other than being who you are?
That is so true. The Castro Night Market Halloween edition is from 5 to 10 tonight, free and open to everyone. Make sure to dress up and join the Glow in the Streets costume contest.
You've probably heard this, but down in the Castro and elsewhere, maybe even in WeHo, they call Halloween Gay Christmas.
Oh, I could see that.
Yep, lots of fun. Hey, coming up, we're following a big, big side effect of the U.S. government shutdown. And many Americans are set to lose critical food assistance this weekend. And the impacts here in the Bay Area are big. Even in California, 5 million people without food on the table. We're going to show you how local food banks are bracing for these food cuts.
And it is Forever Friday. We're going to be joined by some of our friends bringing in an adoptable dog. We're jumping over to 44 Cable 12.